Good morning, Ross Jason Boehm Live. Newspaper I can find. It's from the Thursday, the May 12th, 2016. Today is 8:50 a.m. at 5/23rd, 2016. Monday. Well, let's talk about this today. Nazi death camp treatments. Sex change, lobotomies, castrations, starving people to death, and whatever else, million one things they tried, such as organ transplants and everything under the sun, sleep deprivation, and so on. Well, sex changes. I don't want one. I'm a man. Always been a man. I ain't gay either. All I have done is date women and women only. Men don't get in my head that way. Nor my ass. Sorry, that's just my belief only. You shouldn't be converting or trying to push your life, forcing your life on me if you're a gay, transgender, or think so. Because it's a man world, Adam and Eve, men and women. DNA has never changed. To add a chemical in the body that may or may not work while it's in the body only doesn't make sense, and spend huge monies to do so. Just like bodybuilding. Dorian Yates went up to 260 pounds, now he's down to what? 210 pounds of solid muscle still, maybe not. We haven't seen any real attitudes of pictures or adequate pictures of his flexing from the days he was IDF Pro Mr. O to now, I think it's about 15 years later. Anyhow, that doesn't make him transgender, that's a bodybuilder. A transgender or sex change is when a male tries to become a female, gets man boobs or gynomasculus, and a woman takes off their boobs and tries to get a fake penis, which doesn't work because you can't have a fake penis. And a woman and a man can't get a fake vagina or womb because it's not a womb. You can't have a child out of it because you don't have ovaries and fallopian tubes and all that kind of stuff. DNA is always going to be the same. While you're on your drugs, you're on your drugs. Okay, let's talk about psychological treatment of INVEGA again. INVEGA, causing gynomasculus and fat. Well, shrinking the penis to whatever drug they gave you in the hospital. Starting with a sex change, that's what it is. Taking the male hormone called testosterone lower than what it is, making somebody psychologically deranged. The man or woman can't handle having fat or obesity on their body, so causing more psychological harm. A doctor, by ethics, is not supposed to, by any treatment, harm a patient. Now you psychologically harmed a patient from being a man to being less than a man because you've taken the hormones away. Now you've intended to harm somebody. You criminally harm somebody with a chemical injection, meaning now it's a lethal weapon, meaning like a gun. You used a chemical weapon or a weapon that harms a human being. That's 3 charges now. Also, under human rights, Article 5, you just degraded the man from his lifestyle. You took his health away from him. He can't breathe anymore. He can't walk anymore. So now he's lost his mobility right and his right to self-defense because he doesn't have enough physical strength to defend himself with a punch, push, or run away if he needed to. Self-defense. And he can't only pick up a weapon, and that's all he has. Still can't swing a bat or a stick to defend himself, meaning all he can use is a firearm or a mechanical device. And another lethal weapon is a mace or type of spray that brings psychological harm, meaning waking people up in panic mode or whatnot. Psychologically harming a human being, making somebody go postal over a long period of time by making their life miserable, bringing them financial difficulties, never being able to find a job, finding a job, teasing them, laying them off, firing them, not paying them enough money, financial harm, degrading of a man. Charter 12 as well. So now we got laws broken, hey? intent to harm, use of a deadly weapon, intent premeditated, unlawfully causing bodily harm, administering nauseous things, and financial harm, psychological abuse / torture, death that may be prevented by not doing this treatment to them because they go crazy or suicidal, you might say, and kill themselves. Assisted suicide, you have to have a court order for. Human rights violations, acts against humanity because you're messing with male genetics and they don't want to be that way. Causing a genocide because you're killing somebody in some way or another. Genocide, spading of people, harming human beings that don't want to be that way. You psychologically harmed them so they would go cuckoo, and so forth. There's about 600 laws maybe you broke. Human rights you've destroyed, and ethics, and the charter. Period. If a man has gynecomasculine and a destruct, you put some type of sex change in the drug to start the procedure. Period. And if they don't have their natural testosterone at a high enough level. Period. Meaning you harmed a human being some way or another in their lifetime. In their foods, their water, or injected them with something. Misleading and lying, deceitful, fraud, and so forth. If you don't understand your own laws and your regulations, this is a Nazi-like treatment death camp. Court orders for the following things. Assessment orders, not two doctors saying this because they're not judges, misleading and misjudging or misunderstanding what they're seeing because they only see somebody for 5 minutes. They don't see them for a lifetime. We don't live in a jail or a psych ward, and social services wasn't supposed to be like a jail-like system where people starve to death either. So it's a system that intends to harm human beings and starve them to death because they can't find adequate clothes at Salvation Army to look for a job. And once you're like an Indian reserve, you come off and try to look for a job, you get discrimination because everybody knows by your address on your resume where you live. So it's called discrimination. It's not like a business card that only has your address in this because you have a business saying that you have these documents. Uneducated because you don't have a university education to get any higher than minimum wage most of the time. Discrimination. Racist discrimination. Basically what it comes down to. Intending to harm human beings in an act that doesn't make sense in the 21st century. Trying to make and human control humans in what they don't want to live. You teach them from K to 12, the sky's the limit, put your mind to it and you can do anything in life. Everybody always says it. Oh, it's your own choice what you do in life. Right. Go look for a job and you can't find one. Privatization doesn't work. You never had money in your pocket. You never owned assets. You never had property. You never lived the life you saw fit. There isn't a job over there if you can't just go and do it. Somebody has to say yes or no to do it. To move people around from place to place, there has to be adequate jobs for that to happen too, and adequate lifestyles to live. Not moving to a place that you can't afford to live. Or freeze to death and pay $500 a month for heating in Saskatchewan, Alberta, or Manitoba. Or northern provinces. Oh, I forgot Ontario, Quebec, Halifax, PEI, and Labrador as well. I say Halifax, Yukon, and Northwest Territories. I live in British Columbia, where it doesn't snow or freeze all year round, other than maybe for a week. It may snow out there, and it's still a treacherous thing to walk through when you don't have adequate clothes to do so, like boots, mitts, toques, and so forth. Rain, it sucks when you don't have a raincoat and you're soaking wet, walking 10 blocks to go to a soup kitchen or a library and come back just for a soup and sandwich that's 2 weeks old, more degradation, of bread, and you don't know how old the food is either. Food safe, Wimmis, and so forth that may not be used in a soup kitchen from volunteers that have food like tuna sandwiches and egg salad sandwiches sitting out for 3 hours on the counter maybe before somebody comes in and grabs them, and isn't sitting in a fridge because they have house fridges, not industrial fridges where you can put large amounts of food into. Anyhow, coffee. Just woke up. Things that are intended to harm people, and like Nazi death camp treatment in World War II, that shouldn't happen again. You know, the aftermath of World War II and the control of people, psychological and physical abuse and laws broken and human rights violations. We all loved our country before, but I've been so assaulted by the police, the doctors, and parents and family violence and stuff like that. It's gone a little too far, I think, when I've done nothing wrong and you couldn't prove anything in the court of law. But self-defense in a word saying, do I have to give you a scenario or something? And you go fucking postal on me and try to get me charged for uttering threats and whatnot. Oh yeah, mischief. I threw something at the cop car, it missed, it hit another car and broke the window. Oopsie. Doesn't mean take the guy to a fucking psych ward and get injected for 1.5 years with INVEGA so they get more man boobs, lose all their hormones, and kill them in another way instead of going bang, shooting you in the fucking head, zombie. Because we just fucked your life up. We made you go postal. Yeah, premeditated assault from the RCMP, Constable Johnny Johnson. He happens to be black or North American, what do you call it, African they call them. But if he's born on this continent, it means he's a black aboriginal of North America to me, because he's born on this continent. Just that's your ancestry, where your family might have come from. Doesn't look like a pure black guy, because they look a little different to me if I look at National Geographics or look at places in their slums of Africa, or I look at slums of Brazil or India where they show slums. Our slums don't look like slums like their slums, because ours just look a little better for some reason. Anyhow, crimes against Canada that should be fixed. Now I need hormones to live my life so I can live healthier, be able to run 10 kilometers again or 3 kilometers at will when I want to, or 100 meters without being out of breath, and have physical strength to work out for 1.5 hours and stand up and go for a 10 or 15 kilometer walk if I feel like, or swim in the river or the pool and play a game of basketball. Be mentally alert and physically strong enough to push somebody away or box or hit my way out of something if I had to. Or kick somebody if I had to too. You know the old saying, Bruce Lee, I think it was a game. Once they're on the ground, you just jump up in the air, you slam them in the chest or the head, and their cranium breaks or the chest breaks. I don't know. What else is there to do? Take somebody out by their legs, and once their legs are broken, they ain't going to be able to stand up, are they? Guess that's the way it works. And, oh yeah. Castle is your body, isn't it? It's your house, only thing you own. And Vancouver is a jail with ferries that cost money to get on and off, and water, a moat around it, so it's a castle as well, and an island, just like Alcatraz, isn't it? And it costs more money to get in and off. Just like my life, they took my job away, you cut off power, food, and communications, and within 2 weeks, they're all going to try to move off the island.